Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a really exciting one for you today because we are unpacking what is honestly a true medical revolution. We're diving deep into the rigorous, hardcore biological science that drives integrated medicine. Specifically, we'll be looking through the lens of Professor Rajiv Gupta's integrated healthcare model, also known as the RGIMM. So, if you've ever found yourself wondering how ancient practices like yoga and nutrition can seamlessly integrate with advanced AI and modern biomedicine, well, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
To kick things off, let's ground our exploration in a really profound realization. Quote, "The future of medicine lies not in treating isolated organs, but in understanding the human body as an interconnected biological network." This isn't just a subtle tweak in how we view health, it represents a complete paradigm shift. We're moving away from treating the body as a collection of separate, disconnected parts, and finally recognizing it as one highly communicative, dynamic ecosystem.
Which leads us to a pretty vital question to consider. What if your healthcare actually treated you, the whole person, instead of just your isolated organs? Now, don't get me wrong, modern medicine is literally a miracle when it comes to acute trauma. If you break a bone or get a severe infection, you absolutely want modern medicine. But it often struggles when it comes to complex, chronic diseases. Why? Because it treats the body in fragments, usually managing symptoms rather than addressing the root, systemic causes.
Just compare the two approaches. Under the current model, we often get incredibly fragmented care. You see a cardiologist for your heart, a neurologist for your brain, an endocrinologist for your hormones. It's like they're operating in separate silos, which often leads to overlapping treatments and purely reactive symptom management. But the integrated model, it treats the neuroendocrine, autonomic, immune, and metabolic systems as a single, continuously talking network. Because at the end of the day, this is the actual biological reality of how your body functions.
So to make this integrated model actually work, the RGIM builds its foundation on systems biology. If you're not familiar, this is the study of human physiology as a single massive regulatory network. Health isn't just determined by one isolated pathway, instead it emerges from literally billions of continuous cellular interactions. It's like a giant puzzle, where your immune system is constantly chatting with your nervous system, your emotions directly affect your physiology, and your everyday environment fundamentally alters your cellular activity.
And when we apply this incredibly interconnected view to illness, we get what's called network medicine. And this reveals something absolutely fascinating. Chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or Alzheimer's, they aren't separate, isolated island states. Actually, scratch that, it's more like they're branches of the same tree. They share overlapping biological pathways and represent disturbances within the exact same underlying networks.
This interconnected view creates a stark contrast in how we actually deliver care. The old way is reactive disease management, basically waiting for the check engine light to come on, waiting for symptoms, and then just throwing multiple medications at them. The RGIM approach, on the other hand, is proactive health creation. We're talking about using early AI detection and super targeted lifestyle interventions to actively build up your resilience and stop disease in its tracks before it even fully manifests.
Okay, so to actually create that health, we have to look down at the cellular level, starting with systemic inflammation. Now, this isn't the healthy, acute immune response you get when you get a simple paper cut. No, systemic inflammation is like a smoldering, persistent fire inside your entire body. It is the foundational mechanism of illness. It accelerates biological aging and literally fuels everything from atherosclerosis to insulin resistance. Bottom line, we absolutely have to target and correct this baseline.
And closely linked to that smoldering fire is oxidative stress. You can basically think of this as the cellular wear and tear that drives the body from a state of health right into disease. The pure brilliance of the RGM model is that it actively tracks these specific pathways. It uses targeted interventions to cool down that systemic inflammation and simultaneously boost your body's own built-in antioxidant defenses.
And the best part? We have hardcore scientific proof of how holistic practices tackle this exact wear and tear. Take yoga, for instance. It is way more than just stretching. It has been shown to physically lower inflammatory markers like cortisol, while at the exact same time boosting cellular protectors like glutathione. We're talking about a highly measurable biological intervention here. It's really incredible stuff.
But yoga is just one piece of the puzzle. The entire integrated medicine model actually rests on 4 overlapping biological foundations: the gut microbiome, mitochondria, epigenetics, and systemic inflammation.
And remember, these aren't separate silos. Everything you do, everything you eat, and everything you think cascades directly through these exact biological systems to influence your overall baseline of health.
Let's zoom in on mitochondria for a second. You probably remember from high school biology that these are your cellular energy producers. Well, when you experience chronic stress or just have poor lifestyle habits, your mitochondrial function inevitably drops. And when cellular energy drops, your body's natural repair shop basically shuts down. This impairment is a massive driver of functional decline as we age.
Then, of course, we have the gut microbiome. Here's a mind-blowing fact for you. You have trillions of these microorganisms inside of you, which means you are technically more bacteria than you are human. And it's really not just about digestion. Your gut is a major communication hub. It's in constant dialogue with your nervous system and your immune responses. So an imbalance here feeds directly back into that systemic inflammation we were just talking about.
This brings us to what I consider perhaps the most empowering concept in all of modern science, epigenetics. Your DNA is not a fixed destiny, not at all. Epigenetics are reversible modifications that regulate your genes based strictly on your environment. What that means is, every single day, your lifestyle choices are literally turning protective genes on or pro-inflammatory genes off. You are in the driver's seat.
Because of epigenetics, we really have to completely reframe how we view our daily habits. Food, for instance, isn't just caloric fuel to get you through the day. Food is molecular instruction. Through something called nutritional epigenetics, the specific nutrients you consume act as biological code. They dictate cellular activity through DNA methylation and histone modification. You are quite literally programming yourselves with every single meal.
Now let's shift gears a bit to the mind-body connection through a massive, absolutely vital concept, psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI for short. This is the study of how your mind, your brain, and your immune system constantly talk to each other. And what it proves is that persistent negative thoughts or chronic stress aren't just all in your head. No, they physically alter your immune biology and significantly increase your overall physical burden.
But here is the incredibly optimistic news. Your brain is highly adaptable thanks to neuroplasticity. This is your nervous system's lifelong ability to modify its actual physical structure based on experience. As the famous neuroscience saying goes, neurons that fire together wire together. Repeated behaviors, like daily meditation or mindfulness, literally physically reshape your neural circuits, perfectly bridging ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience.
And again, we can track this precise biological mechanism in action. Practices like yoga directly lower cortisol, which in turn upregulates something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as Miracle-Gro for your brain. It promotes neuroplasticity and actively protects your cognitive reserve, which is crucial whether you are a reproductive age female, going through menopause, or dealing with andropause.
So, the big question. How do we actually operationalize all this amazing science? Well, this is where lifestyle medicine comes into the RGMIM. Let me be clear, this isn't just generic advice from your doctor to eat well and exercise. These are highly precise, evidence-based interventions designed to systematically alter those upstream biological pathways through physical activity, restorative sleep, and stress management. We are actively creating health at the cellular level.
But the RGIMM model takes this a giant step further into the future with anticipatory medicine. Instead of waiting for a disease to establish itself, we use continuous digital monitoring. Think wearables, tracking your heart rate variability and your sleep quality. We use this tech to establish a highly personalized, continuous baseline of what normal actually looks like for your specific, unique body.
So here's exactly how that looks in practice. AI starts with continuous physiological tracking from your wearables, and then synthesizes that data with your unique genomics. It uses all this holistic data to predict your specific risk of chronic disease, which triggers a personalized early intervention. The ultimate goal? To catch any subtle metabolic deterioration long before it ever escalates into a hospital emergency.
When we finally pull all of these threads together, we get the complete blueprint of Professor Gupta's RGIMM model. It has a non-negotiable foundation of modern biomedicine and AI right at the base. And rising up from that are the biological pathways of healing we just explored, branching out into complementary modalities like nutrition, acupuncture, and yoga. It beautifully, seamlessly unifies precise data with evidence-informed holistic healing.
We've covered some seriously incredible, cutting-edge science today, from network medicine all the way to the epigenetic power of your daily choices. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Knowing that your body is a dynamic, interconnected network, and knowing that your genes are not a fixed destiny, how will you actively influence your biological blueprint today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.